1, 2, 3, come on!
Consumer protection. Who is consumer? The consumer is the one who consumes or uses any commodity or service available from any natural resources or through a market. On 15th March 1962, the President of the United States of America, J.F. Kennedy, declared certain rights of consumers, and therefore it is observed as the World Consumer Rights Day. Consumer rights protect consumers from being cheated by salesman, manufacturer, and shopkeeper. Now let us see rights of consumers. The first point, right to safety. This right protects the consumers against products, production processes, and services. It considers consumers' long-term interests as well as their immediate requirements. According to this right, consumer must get full safety and protection to his life and health. This safety should be in relation to medicines, electrical appliances, and food. The Government of India has given safety standards in the form of EGMARK, ISI, BIS, etc. Now let us see what do we mean by EGMARK. EGMARK is a certification mark on agricultural products in India, assuring that they conform to set of standards approved by the Directorate of Marketing and Inspection. Now what is ISI mark? ISI mark is a standard compliance mark for industrial products in India since 1955. The mark certifies that a product conforms to an Indian standard, that is IS, developed by the Bureau of Indian Standards, that is BIS, the National Standards Body of India. Now what is BIS? BIS certifies the purity of gold. The process of certifying the purity of gold is called hallmarking. From IS to ISI mark, we see the goods in a good quality. From 15th January 2021, no jeweler will be allowed to sell any kind of gold ornaments without hallmarking. Now let us see the second point, right to information. Consumer should be provided with adequate information about all aspects of goods and services. It includes information relating to MRP, date of manufacture, expiry date, name of manufacturer, contents used, batch number if any, and safety instructions. This right is applicable to food products, medicines, spare parts, or any other consumer products or services. It enables the consumer to select the right product or service. The next point, right to represent. The Consumer Protection Act provides an opportunity to represent consumers' interest before consumer forum. The Act allows the consumer to be represented by a person who is not a professional advocate. The next point, fourth one, right to choose. According to this right, consumers should be given full freedom to choose an article as per his requirement, liking, and purchasing capacity. The right to choose is related to the concept of free market economy. The seller cannot compel consumer to buy a particular product, and hence monopoly is prevented. A free market economy refers to an economic system which is based on the forces of demand and supply with no government control. The consumer decides what he wants to buy and the manufacturer supplies the required goods and services. In a free market, there is no forced transaction. The next point, fifth one, right to be heard. According to this right, consumers have the opportunity to voice their complaints to the consumer forum. Consumers may also give suggestions to manufacturer or trader on certain matters such as quality, quantity, price, packaging, and various other things. Nowadays, consumers can file online complaints through portal or mobile applications. Every business organization should listen to and solve the complaints of all the consumers. The mobile app for filing complaints includes National Consumer Helpline app. There is another app called Unified Mobile App for New Age Governance, through which consumer complaints can be registered. Now we come to the next point, sixth one, right to consumer education. Every consumer has the right to know about consumer rights and solutions to his problems. This right creates consumer awareness. An aware consumer can make rational choice of goods and services. He can also protect his rights and interests from the exploitation by dishonest businessmen. Thus, consumer education becomes a priority concern. It is necessary to educate and train consumers regarding prevailing acts and legal processes. The government, media, and NGOs play vital roles in this regard. Example, Jago Grahak, Jago campaign. Next point, right against spurious goods. The right is against the marketing of goods which are hazardous to health, spurious, that is fake, and pose a danger to life. The next point, eighth one, right to protect from unfair business practices. All consumers are protected against unfair business practices such as black marketing, faulty weights and measures, and adulteration. The next point, ninth one, right to redress. This right implies fair settlement of consumers' claims. This right enables the consumer to demand repair or replacement or compensation for defective products and for poor services. According to Consumer Protection Act, three-tier quasi-judicial consumer dispute redressal machinery is established for the settlement of claims. It has district commission at district level, state commission at state level, and national commission at national level. The next point, last one, right to healthy environment. All consumers have the right to healthy and clean environment in the present as well as future. As per this right, consumers can demand actions against the pollution causing business organizations. Every consumer should be aware of his rights and use of them in his daily life. Consumers have to fight for their own rights and put pressure on businesses, manufacturers, and traders for safeguarding their rights. Now let us see a recap of all that we have discussed now. We will come to the first point. The first point that we have discussed, right to safety, which says that this right protects the consumers against products, production processes, and services which are hazardous to health and life. The next one, right to information. In this right, consumer is provided with adequate information about all aspects of goods and services. The third point, right to represent. The Consumer Protection Act provides an opportunity to individuals and consumers to represent consumers' interest before the consumer forum. This right to represent also allows the consumer to be represented by a person who is not a professional advocate. The fourth point, right to choose. According to this right, consumer should be given full freedom to choose an article as per his requirement, liking, and purchasing capacity. This right is related to the concept of free market economy. The next one, fifth one, right to be heard. According to this right, consumers have the opportunity to voice their complaints to the consumer forum. Consumers can file online complaints through mobile applications. The next point, sixth one, right to consumer education. In this, every consumer has the right to know about consumer rights and solutions to his problems. Consumer education becomes a priority concern. The next point, seventh one, right against spurious goods. This right is against the marketing of goods which are hazardous to health and they pose a danger to life. The next one, eighth, right to protect from unfair business practices. Here, all consumers are protected against unfair business practices such as black marketing, faulty weights and measures, adulteration, etc. The ninth point, right to redress. This right implies fair settlement of consumers' claims. Only filing of complaints is not enough to give justice. This right enables the consumer to demand repair or replacement or compensation for defective products and for poor services. The last point, right to healthy environment. All consumers have the right to healthy and clean environment in the present as well as future. So every consumer should be aware of his rights and use them in his daily life. Consumers have to fight for their own rights and put pressure on businesses, manufacturers and traders for safeguarding their rights. Hope you all have understood the different rights of consumers.
1, 2, 3, come on!